With a combined experience around the table, this is a perfect opportunity for our senior leaders to provide their perspectives. To start, I would like to ask each member of our panel today to provide a short overview on the work their organisations are undertaking on strategies for advancing the manufacturing industry. Ines, perhaps I might ask you to take the first go at that. Welcome, and love to hear what you're up to.
Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Graham and Ian and Nick as well for organising today. It's a very important conversation, and one as we slowly emerge from COVID is even more important. I'd like to also welcome and acknowledge the other panellists today, Jennifer, Ross and Scott. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we can get a lot out of today and give some direction on what is an essential debate to Australia's economic future. So I'm going to make a couple of points to open up, and then obviously, hopefully we'll be able to get in some questions and some discussion later. But it's very timely that we be talking today. Just yesterday, Judith Sloan in The Australian wrote another sort of obituary for manufacturing in Australia. There was a lot of good stuff and worthy stuff in what Judith wrote, but it was another, at this time, another attempt to say that manufacturing was gone and that it was of very little value to Australia's economic future. I think COVID has proved exactly the opposite, and that's a strong view that we have held, that manufacturing has held up well through COVID. It has been the bedrock of our economic strength and has provided a great platform for our economy to rebound. It was the manufacturing sector, most of all, that kept working through the worst of the downturn. But the upturn we're now seeing provides another opportunity and another rethink around how to build on the capability that we already have, but how to develop the core strengths and competencies that we do need to make and ensure that manufacturing remains a crucial part of our economy. It already employs just under 1 million people directly, and there are millions of jobs which spin off out of manufacturing. But manufacturing is changing, industry is changing, and we as a country need to keep up. And a core part of that challenge for us is in the education, training and skills sector. If we don't have the education system, the training and the skills that we do need, then we will not build the scale that we are looking to build through the modern manufacturing strategy that's been unveiled by the federal government. And we won't see us be able to take up the opportunities that are presented to us as our economy, both domestically and internationally, pivots. Education training is key to this, as I mentioned. It's been a system and a relationship which has been strained between industry and education and training for some time. Concerns from industry that they're not getting what they want out of the education system. People with the requisite skills, both what you might call hard and soft, not coming through. And this has sort of held back industry, but it's also held back our young people as they seek to find their way through into the workforce. We don't think there's a silver bullet in sort of addressing the issues that both sides of the equation have, but we do have some thoughts around what could be done to improve the relationship, and most importantly, to further improve the outcomes that we're all after, no matter where you sit in this discussion, for the benefit of everyone. We see 5 key interrelated elements, and I'll just sort of briefly touch on, Sharon, and then we can go from there. One is that at the forefront has to be the development of digital skills intermingled with what you might call the development of human capabilities, the soft skills. That's what business and industry is telling us more and more that they need as they emerge further from COVID and they look towards the future. So we need digital capability and human interaction skills, essentially. Digital capability is crucial, and we strongly argue that the word digital should be taken out of conversations around the economy. So it's not a conversation around the digital economy, it's just a conversation around the economy of the future, because that economy of the future will indeed be a digital one. No other way to think about it. Secondly, we need to put the apprenticeship system back as being a bedrock of our education training system. It's crucial that we get our apprenticeship system working both for apprentices and for business. We need to do that as a priority. We've seen a dramatic slippage up until recently in the number of apprentices working through the system, and that is our workforce of the future. And we require all sides to get the apprenticeship system working for both. We need to make work-based learning a core principle and outcome of our education and training system, to get as many young people into work as early as possible, to experience what a workplace looks like, to understand how work is done, to understand notions around teamwork, around project delivery. All of those sort of issues are crucial. To have our young people as part of their education and training, their degrees, their apprenticeships, all their TAFE work, to spend as much time as possible in a work environment is crucial. And to do that, we need to build partnerships. We also look at needing to build flexible qualifications into the future that incorporate shorter form training whenever it's needed by companies. Shorter form flexible qualifications are very much the way of the future. It's what industry is calling out for, quite specific, targeted educational outcomes that suit the needs and the purposes of industry. That's a very clear direction that we're going to need to go down. And finally, we need to quickly establish a new template for partnerships between manufacturing companies and education and training providers. It's often been said, but it is true, that there are sometimes companies and educators pass like ships in the night. They don't have the conversations that they should. They don't have the relationships that they should have. They don't have the entry points to each other that they should have, so that they can build relationships and partnerships. So we need, as a priority, to get a new template for partnerships between business and education established as quickly as possible. The final point I'll make, in the interest of time, is that this is just not about big business or business of scale. This is also significantly about developing relationships with SMEs. I think, as you all know, 90% of our manufacturing firms employ 20 people or less. So where there has to be, and so there's a big focus in the modern manufacturing strategy around building scale, which is absolutely crucial. But to build scale, we need to build the relationships, and we cannot forget our manufacturing SMEs when we are having this discussion. They're a key component of the discussion here, and it's something that we need to keep in mind. I think we've got, three other panelists and then some time for conversation, but I just wanted to put those out there as sort of thought starters, but key elements of strategies that we at AI Group are following and pursuing through our work with a whole range of agencies, including IBSA, to try to sort of reframe and repackage education and training for the manufacturing space. This is a time of huge opportunity. We had that other obituary yesterday, but manufacturing has come through this very strongly and is emerging very strongly. We are seeing that through the data that we collect all the time, and we put out our monthly PMI. We are seeing a strong resurgence in manufacturing. Now we just need to upskill and develop capability and scale to ensure that momentum continues, and education and training is a key funnel for that.